Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. This is Valier, and last week we got started, managed to pick up a couple quests, and have attuned ourselves to the lovely Aetheryte behind me. And now we are going to find more quests and do more activities this week. So, there's a quest right over here. Let's see what this guy wants. There's a goblin in this city. Can I kill it? Proper procedure. The goblin merchant Square-Enix appears to be in some distress. Square-Enix is beauty, a scabby, and crafty, smart trade maker. Oh god. Square-Enix make busy deal with uplanders. Need to deliver a letter to Gate of Mealvan, but Square-Enix has shivery shakes. Uplander walks to Gate of Mealvan for Square-Enix. Uplander delivers letters to Tax Lady Petunia? Okay, I guess we're going to go to that gate. But first, we should go find this lovely Marauders Guild, which, if I recall, is upstairs. And we're also going to take a lovely look at my mailbox so that I can get the notification letters out of my notification area. And we have another quest right here. Harlano needs help replenishing the Bismarck's larders. Beg your pardons, good madam, but you are an adventurer, are you not? I realize this is sudden, but we urgently need help restocking our larders. We are in the midst of preparing a full-course meal for soon-arriving guests. I fear we are short on fresh lamb for the main course. Yeah, maybe you should have, ordered more. I would be grateful if you could procure 4 slices for us. I dare say it would be quickest to obtain these directly from the source. Wild lambs. But I could just call the manufacturer something. Alright, no fun. In case you are unfamiliar with the creatures, I suggest you speak with Abby, a sentry station in Bulmock Hall, just below the Drowning Wench. The Drowning Wench. Okay then. You might notice I've done some small tweaking to things. My name's no longer visible. You may have noticed in my my talking window that I have added a section called Tells and Yells. I have put in there any tells received, any yells received, any shouts received, mostly because fuck RMT. What do you want? No, seriously, what do you want? Am I lagging? Please don't tell me I'm lagging. I'm lagging. Now the one problem... Yep, there we go. Now, one problem that I have, and I'm sure anyone else who is recording this game, and this is... I don't like how this is going. But I don't think I mentioned it last week. With this type of game, there are no do-overs. In some of my adventure games, I could just easily go back and hit restore and go back to some point before I did something stupid. But here, we just keep going. And so a lot of stuff may end up looking repeated, but I promise it probably is. And oh boy, give me a minute. And I am back online. I have no idea what happened. Probably just lag, as I said. But what I was saying was there are no second takes. You basically take what you can get. And so if I disconnect, you'll probably see disconnects. If someone does something stupid, I can't not see them do something stupid. If I do something stupid, it's not stupid. Just remember that. The teacher needs someone to report a bilking patron. We spare no effort to ensure all of our patrons enjoy the finest food and hospitality. And so it is doubly hurtful when someone decides to leave without settling the bill. Nary a bell ago, a first-time patron did just that. Oh, do I get to kick someone's ass? Robert is the one who lovingly prepared the man's meal. She is quite upset by the whole affair. Oh, if I knew it was she, I wouldn't have said Robert. And has taken it upon herself to draw an illustration of the offender. Am I trouble to deliver it to the Yellow Jackets on our behalf? Rachel should be done adding the finishing touches by now. As I said, no going back and fixing mistakes. Actually, that's one of those things I could go back and fix, but it's not. So, hey Rachel. Grr, I poured my heart and soul into that girl Dodo. If I ever get my hands on that scoundrel, I'll grind his bones and milk make my bread. Remind me not to buy bread from you. Here it is, my rendition of the criminal. Please deliver it to Godbert at the Coral Tower. He'll know what to do. Godbert. Let's just say I know something that happens much later in the game. Alright, so we'll come down here. And the Yellow Jackets are pretty much on the way to the Marauders Guild, if I recall. I'm too used to having all these crystals. But we have a quest right here. Morden would like to make you a completely legal proposition. Oh, that can't go wrong at all. You want for coin, venturer? How'd you fancy working for the Kraken's Arm, one of the greatest pirating crews in Nimza? If you're interested, take yourself up these there steps to the balcony above and talk to Carvalian, our captain. Do right by him and I'll do right by ye. Okay. Let's see what this guy has to say. Can always decline. Greetings, friend, and welcome to the Seventh Sage, purveyors of the finest spices from the East. All of our products are guaranteed obtained through completely legal means. I'm scared of the fact they had to specify that. Oh, you do not seek spices, but employment. Well then, let us speak of how you might be of service to our organization. Our Misery returned from her latest voyage bearing exotic spices never seen before in Eorzea. I have prepared 2 samplers, each of which I would have you delivered to certain individuals. The first is for Grenade, whom you will find at the Coral Tower. The second is for Master Lingsad, the head chef at the Bismarck. And do make certain the right person gets the right set. Now go, and return here once you have accomplished the task. But how do I know which one's which? Am I delivering drugs? I'm very suspicious of your, italics. Okay, up here. Finally, we're at the Coral Tower, or the Marauders Guild. I hope I'm saying that right, because I don't want... Yep, you now have Ethernet access to the Marauders Guild. Remember to get your Ethernets, people. They're always good. Here at Grenade. Welcome to the headquarters of the Yellow Jackets, the Keepers of Peace and Limbs of Lamenza. Is there aught I can assist you with? I need to really come up with better voices for females instead of giving them all the same voice. 7 Sage Sampler. A set containing several exotic spices and instructions on how they can be used. Not something you would expect from the captain of a band of bloodthirsty pirates. Oh, okay, please don't arrest me if there's drugs in here. A sample of spice courtesy of the 7th Sage, you say? There is no mistake. This is fire sand, and the kind used by Guardians besides. Quite intriguing. Very well, we will consider placing an order. Guardians? Oh, you thought that you had brought me spice? See, you're not familiar with Carvalianisms. For sake of convenience, he uses the word spice to refer to literally anything he has procured on the high seas. Lest you worry, the man isn't engaged in any activity that is considered piracy. Far from it, think of him as a trader, a heavily armed one, who represents Leminzan interest in eastern lands. Okay, now they give me a quest. Lost and found. Janae speaks up with a growing problem in Limsa Leminza. An alarming number of citizens have gone missing of late, though I suspect you've already heard the rumors. It is essential that we ascertain their safety. To this end, I have prepared a list based on reports from our citizens. Would you be so kind as to deliver it to my colleague in Bulwark Hall? Natalie. Can I call her Natalie too? It's her name. My thanks in advance, friend. Alright, guild receptionist, and Again, he has the little flaming mark above his head, and that means it is the main scenario quest, which at the moment is not showing on my screen, but if we go into the journal, it's the quest close to home. I may consider letting more of the quests show up on the side window, just so you know where we're at, but I'm not going to show too many more, because it does take some time to find, or not some time to find. They're sometimes very lengthy, and I know right above where Lost and Found is on the mark is where a certain timer will happen. Not timer, but you'll find out soon enough. Probably about level 15. Anyways, we have Blasata. Oh there, adventurer. Curious about the Marauders Guild, are ye? An axe worth swinging needs 2 hands on the haft, and has a blade that can make short work of Galley's mast. That's the kind of weapon our members train to use with deceptive swiftness and all too predictable force. Are you interested in hearing more or less? Then why don't I give you the short version of the Guild's founding history, and we can go from there. It all started with ships, you see. What ships have got to do with axes, you ask? Well, building them would be pretty bloody difficult without a sturdy tool to lop down trees for lumber. And since only the navigator herself knows when a ship will run afoul of a storm, or worse, it makes sense for the cruise carpenter to carry an axe on board. It all started with shipbuilding and ship repair. What, am I boring you? As I was saying, any tool on a ship can become a weapon, and the axe was perfect for hooking yourself over the rail of the enemy vessel, letting loose in a whirl of steel, and generally laying waste to all around ye. As more seafarers took up the axe as their weapon of choice, so did the bloody art of the marauder begin to take shape, especially among pirates, where strength and skill decide your place in the world. With united assembling crews of battle-ready raiders, the pirates started teaching the proper way to wield a chopping blade to their new recruits, and that's how the Marauders Guild first came to be. Once the Galadian Accord was signed to unite the Maelstrom and the pirates against Lim's enemy, the whole game changed. The Accord itself was a dismal failure, of course, but the Marauders Guild was never the same. It was taken over, restructured, and purged of its pirate elements. It had been reborn as an institution dedicated to naught but the teaching of axe fighting. Members of this new Marauders Guild were no greed-driven cutthroats either. They were warriors but sought to use their martial prowess for the good of society. If mastering the axe is your heart's desire, then you'll find no better arena in which to practice your swings. Okay? Think it over and let me know if you fancy joining our ranks. I have a feeling I'll be seeing more of you soon, lass. I need an adult. You decided to swing an axe with the Marauders, then? Way of the Marauder. Blasata wishes to reaffirm your desire to join the Marauders Guild. And pretty much all of the quests to access any of the classes will be called Way of the X, where X is the job, or class I should say. There is a distinct difference between class and job in this game. Anyways, alright then, all you need to do now is speak to the Axe Master himself. Sounds simple? I've seen folks slink out the door rather than put themselves in the path of that unerring glare. That's the look right there in the middle of the room. Wernzone's his name. Put some steel in your spine and look him straight in the eye when you talk to him, lass. Good fortune to ye. Okay. Hey, I'm not scared of you. Yes, I'm Wernzone, Axemaster as they call me. Not the most imaginative of titles, I agree, but one should not underestimate the value of directness. I welcome your interest in our guild. The art of the Marauder is used to rend, to cleave, and to destroy. It's not our way to simply outfight our adversaries. We seek to overwhelm them. A Marauder must be the most powerful and enduring presence on the battlefield. We must account for the most enemies defeated. Our role in combat is that of a steel whirlwind, dealing death and destruction without equal. I like this. No doubt the question has already and put to you by Falthada, but once more shall I challenge your commitment. Are you prepared for the bloody carnage that awaits an initiate of the Marauders Guild? Eee, I get to kill stuff! I am prepared for the carnage! Very well. Your name? Attend me well then, Vialir. Hold fast to this moment of dedication. The path of the Marauder is a jagged and perilous one. The blood that spills at your feet will oft-times be your own. I don't like this anymore. You stand now as a student of the axe. Let us waste no time in testing the edge of your chosen weapon. You shall wade straight through into combat as befits a novice of our discipline. Go forth and slay the bleeding, scurrying, crawling pests that plague the outskirts of Lumenza. Lost lambs, wharf rats, and little ladybugs shall be your piteous adversaries this day. What? Really? Really? Ladybugs? Killer ladybug? Return to me once 3 of each creature has fallen to your blade. Okay. We got another turn in over here at Godebert. At Bilker the Bismarck, and you have artist's rendition of the man? A drawing of a man pieced together from descriptions given by eyewitnesses to his crimes most heinous. I know I showed you the shortcut way, but just for completion's sake, I'm going to show you the way most people tend to do, and even I did until I found out about the right click or square button trick. Let's go through here, and you find the item. That's really all there is. You'll probably catch me doing that sometimes. Or what in 7 hell is this supposed to be? Looks more like a prow of a ship to that man's face. Look, we would like nothing more than to bring the offender to justice. 'Tis our duty, after all. However, we need a little bit more to go on than this piece of art. It'll be easiest for all involved for Shimo or to come here and answer some questions. Please relay to her as much. Okay. And you may hear me taking a drink or possibly eating pudding. That I've mentioned it back all the way in King's Quest 1, but for anyone new to the channel, I have a lot of issues swallowing pills, and that's what the pudding is for. The drink, on the other hand, is because I am actually recording this for at least 2.5 hours. So, kind of need to wet my whistle a bit, if you know what I mean. Alright, Ling Saf. A new sample from the 7th stage? Alright, let's have a whiff of it then. Okay. Ain't smelled nothing like it before. The notice came with it says it's a root which grows on Othard. Othard? I have no idea where that is. We don't have access to it, that's what I know. Last I heard, Othard was under Imperial rule. How with 7 health did Carvalian manage to get hold of this? Any road, I reckon I can cook up some fresh and new with it. Thanks for the delivery, friend. Okay, and you? So you've spoken to Godebert? Wah! Within the bell, the Yellow Jackets will have that swindling scoundrel locked in the dungeon cell. I'll take my filleting knife and... Who's the criminal here? Yeah. Huh? Godebert wants me to go to the Coral Tower for questioning? But what more information does he want that my drawing doesn't already provide? Isn't a picture supposed to paint 1,000 words? Yeah. And that, my friends, means we are level 2. And we have learned the ability Foresight. Now, I haven't actually shown you abilities yet. So, in your menu, we'll go to Actions and Traits. And some people actually have their menu bar in the lower right. I do not, since I'm using controller mode. As you can see, your general is useless, useless, not useless, useful and can be accessed through the menu, can be accessed in other ways, and I can't say I've ever used these. Actually, this is the first time I've ever seen them. So, and once we get a second Aetheryte, we'll have access to teleport. You can see some of those already on my menu here. That's another thing I changed in the UI that is hidden now, so that you can see more of the screen. I may, like I said, I may change some other things just for your sake. But if we go to actions, we have a move called Heavy Swing and a move called Foresight, and these will be unlocked at their respective levels. Heavy Swing is the start of all warrior combos, to the best of my knowledge. Because of how I prefer it, I'm actually going to equip it to the right up on my controller. And Foresight, that's an ability I really should have been using more on my main warrior. Oop, don't tell anyone. Traits, once you get these, they're always active for when you're at that level. When I say at that level, it means this game does have level sync for the dungeons, but again, we won't be seeing that for a while. And once we get jobs, there'll be some actions here. Additional, you can equip skills from other job classes that you've unlocked, and that'll come more into play later when we can actually access them. PvP has your PvP skills. I have never been in that menu. Pets, if you're an Arcanist or a Summoner or a Scholar, that'll have your skills for your pets in there, rather than overflowing in your action screen. Companions, at some point, like most Final Fantasy games, we will get a Chocobo later, and this Chocobo will fight by our side. And you'll find most of the skills in this. Main commands, you can use them if you want. I never do. I think the only ones I really consider are the crafting log for when I'm doing crafting, but I don't even use it then. Map, you can get on a shortcut. Ready check would be useful, so would waymarks, but I don't have enough room for those. I generally let someone else do it. And really, there's not much. The Blacklist one just stands out completely. But that is your actions and traits menu. We'll go into more menus later when we have more stuff to actually do in them. So let's go find this. Before we leave, we have another Aetheryte over here, or Aethernet shard. So let's just attune ourselves to that. This would be the Culinarian Guild. Culinarian. You know, I went to school with they actually had a dedicated wing to the culinary arts, and I have enough trouble pronouncing it. I worked there. Not in the culinary arts part, but I did work there. Okay, so we want to turn in our spice quest to him. Welcome back. It would seem both samples were rather well received. This is no small part due to our affable courier. It is unfortunate, but notoriety accumulated over the course of years does not fade overnight. There are still many who are hesitant to do business with savage pirates. Yet the old days of piracy have passed, giving way to the new wave of opportunity. My crews and I have decided to embrace this wave. With the Admiral's blessing, we engage in a form of trade with Garlean ships. Everything we do, you may rest assured, is within the law. Is that Garlean again? What's that with? I mean, I've never heard of them. So, I'm gonna head down here to do a couple things. One is turn in a quest, and you see I'm using sprint. Takes away all your TP, so don't use it to run into a battle. That's a bad thing. Oh, and we got a main quest to turn in over here. Back at Bateron. Ah, there you are, Vealir. Enjoy your jaunt around the city, did you? If you mean to base yourself in Nimsa Lorenza, that won't be the last time you'll visit them 3 places. And now you got some idea of what's where. You can start exploring the rest of the town. Okay. You've shown a good ear for listening, lass. Stick with old Vaderon and you'll go far. If you can't tell, I have no idea how to pronounce most of the names, so forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it the way you think it should be pronounced. And this, if it's red, that means it's a locked quest. Red with a key, I should say. And we cannot access this until we're level 4. Currently we're level 2, but that will quickly change. There's another quest that won't activate until level 4. But we do have this over here. So, are you trying to confuse me? That person needs your help to prepare a treat for Vaderon. These days, poor Vaderon's so busy looking after others, he hasn't been able to look after himself. He deserves something for his efforts. Okay. Whenever he's in his cups and starts speaking of the old days, he never fails to mention Orlai. Seems he and his mates used to eat the creatures on occasion. It's obvious he still has fond memories of that life. Something a few Oriel umbrellas might be something he'd appreciate. Could you help me by procuring 4 of them? If you're willing to help, speak with Clindro by the Aft Castle. She knows where various wild beasts congregate. And the Aft Castle is... Did I get this done? I think this is the one I actually came here on. But the Aft Castle is right over here. Let me make sure I have the... Yep, I have not attuned to it yet. You may notice all these hearts around, and you'll see kind of pretty things over there, like the House Valention manservant. Currently, it is the Valention's event. I was going to cover that in a special video, until I learned that I didn't record half of the quest. And if I can, I might try to do it on here, but this is the Aft Castle. Where am I going? You told me the Aft Castle. Well, there is another quest turned in. Here we are going through the Valention area, and this is Limsa's place for every event. But as I said, we are going to take a look at my delivery Moogle. Just says he's delivering Moogle. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Moogles are supposed to hide in trees and avoid contact with outsiders. Why would they ever agree to carry about letters? Funny thing, in the Gridania storyline, when you're on that carriage right at the beginning, a Moogle will be there, no one else on the cart will see him, and he will actually drink another person's drink. Or food, I don't remember. But it's really funny. Why indeed? If I had my way, I'd be curled up under the canopy of a nice oak dreaming with some beautiful Moogleette with a rainbow-colored pom-pom, Kupo. Rainbow. But no, the moon had to go and drop from the sky, causing all that terrible commotion. Aetherites were shattered and link pearls rendered useless. For moons, the poor wingless people of Eorzea had no ways of communicating with each other, beyond screaming at the top of their lungs, which no one really approved of, Kupo. That is, until the little horned ones asked us to assist them by delivering messages. Horned ones, huh? At first we were wary of showing ourselves, worried that one of you might catch us and skin us, like you do with every other forest furry. But once we saw how much we were appreciated, we knew we'd found a new calling. And I personally promised to try and not read any along the way. Try. Anyways, you'll notice I have a bunch of things here. This game does offer veterans rewards after a certain amount of months. I could swear I turned this off. But, because of how long I've played, and there's actually a couple other things that I've gone along the way too, I have 19 messages. So let's take all this, see what we got. We have the Onion Helm, which will be very useful for me right now. I thought that had experience bonus on it. I'm thinking of another item. Go away, stupid things. And this is the Helm of Light, which was the one I was actually thinking of. So we'll take that. We have the Baby Behemoth. This is one of the early veteran rewards. Minions. And this is a set of chocobo barding. As I mentioned earlier, we do not have a chocobo, but we can still use it to basically have it ready. Let's take that. This is a coral bell. This is for summoning a coral mount. Unfortunately, we cannot mount up either, so that will have to wait, but we might as well learn it. And this is a legacy. Really? I get the legacy chocobo on this character? What? That's strange. I didn't think it would count. Especially since I just made this character like a week ago. Oh well, taking it. It's just a mount. And this is a wind-up mouse or wind-up cursor minion, which is kind of a joke from older Final Fantasy games, or even this game. You can see the little finger pointing at it. And a Vial Fantasia, which is something you may want to hold on to if you ever decide you want to change your race or like skin color or anything. Things like hair color and hairstyle, that will be taken care of in another part of this game. We'll do that when it comes down to it. Take all. And this is a black chocobo chick minion and the Cascadier uniform voucher. It's a bikini, and bikini top and bottom. We won't be able to do anything with those until very late in the game. Otherwise, we'll just die repeatedly going to where we need to go to turn those in. Here we have the BDI minion and the Voidal Resonator for summoning an Ariman mount. So it's just another minion and another mount. And this is a Black Mage Varying and Minion of Light, which is another minion. And this is the Wind Up Dalamod minion, awarded to those who purchase the Before Meteor soundtrack. Yep, I have the Before Meteor soundtrack, and guess what? That's not it. But this is another Vial Fantasia for those who purchase the original Final Fantasy XIV. As I was kind of surprised at earlier, I am a legacy account. I believe I showed you that in the introduction video. So we'll save that for later. And this is the Behemoth Warhorn for summoning a Behemoth mount and the Wind Up Leader minion. I love the Behemoth mount because it's the only one that kind of looks like you're just sitting on a chair and lounging back. The others, you basically have to take part in. Like Behemoth mount, it's like very fun. This is a Fat Chocobo mount, and he is hilarious. This is Wind Up Moogle minion. I believe this is from just a veteran reward. Don't remember though. This is the Wind Up Bahamut minion, which you get for buying the A Realm Reborn soundtrack. And this is the Enterprise minion. You get that for buying the Final Fantasy XIV art book, available at their store, online store. There is another minion that they have, but I had tried to order it, and they had sent me a thing saying that they were back ordered until like March. So I'll have to order that later. That one's a male Moogle minion. Here we have the 5-piece Moogle costume. That was for either going to FanFest or getting the premium subscription to their stream. I did the latter. And that's really just for glamours, and we'll learn more about that later. And this is Sleipnir, as in Odin's mount. And basically, you get this from the controversial cash shop, which some people decided that things like Sleipnir horns and special dies are pay to win. Don't ask me. But here I'll teach you how to use items. See, we have all these items. Oh, I come with grade 1 dark matter. That's actually surprising. But all you gotta do is double click them, or probably you can right click them too. Hit use. And basically you just do that with everything. And you may notice that the helmets that I got earlier are not in here, and we don't want to use that yet. And yeah, I don't even have the legacy tattoo. Why do I have legacy? I mean, I know I didn't turn it off, but I'm gonna have to try that in a moment. Basically, just use them all. No reason to hold it until you can actually use it, because inventory space is very precious. This is more so in the later games, but at the moment you have 100 inventory, and that is all. And so, crystals, you'll occasionally get crystal shards, crystals, and crystal clusters, and those have their own special tab. And you have your key items are in their own special tab as well. And there are some minions that do work with others. A wind-up Bahamut is one of them. I will not spoil that for those who don't know the story, because it's kind of really interesting.